So I've got a question here, and it goes something like this. If you're the spiritual guide, then does that mean that you have a map? Because I want to follow a guide who has a map. And the short answer is yes, I do have a map. Actually, I don't have a map. I am the map. I'm the map and I'm the guide. And the question was really coming from this kind of curiosity of, well, I want to know the map. I want to see it. So why don't you just kind of share the map with me? And I could do that. I could definitely map everything out for you. But having the map is actually a huge obstacle. And it's totally opposite of what your mind thinks. Your mind thinks, well, what? If I'm on a journey, I obviously want a map. I want to know where I'm going because I want to watch this map and I'm going to know what's coming up. Right? And that's the trap. Because if you know everything that's coming up, that's kind of how the mind works. It always wants to know. It wants to know. That's the nature of the mind. It wants to know. And as soon as it kind of, sees it on a map, it's, oh, I know that. I know that's coming up next. And there's this huge obstacle with creating a map that's very sequential, like a step-by-step. Everybody wants a step-by-step guide, but it's a big obstacle. It's a big obstacle because the mind has been conditioned to essentially learn that way. Think about it. When you're in school, everything's a step-by-step process. Everything is sequential. Everything that you do, right? It's like, oh, you got a job. Oh, and then if you want to work your way up in the company, it's like, oh, they give you kind of the steps. Well, here, this is to get to the, manager position. You're working your way up. It's all sequential. But spirituality doesn't follow those rules because you're actually already at the destination. You just don't know it. You haven't realized it. You are the journey and you are the destination. And it doesn't really need to follow this sequential step-by-step order. It's like it doesn't go by those rules because the mind is this linear thinking process. And the destination is beyond the mind. It has nothing to do with the mind. It's nonlinear. So you could see the trap is if you want to play with the mind and give it a linear progression and a step-by-step, here's the 10-step system to enlightenment, good luck. Because you give that to the mind kind of says, I've got the map and here we go. Off we go on our journey. The mind is not getting enlightened. It's not the mind that becomes enlightened. It's not who you think you are that becomes enlightened. Right? So it's very much a trap. You could also, if you got kids, this is easier. But you also think back to just everything that you've kind of learned in life. There's always this sense of when someone tells you about it, then you think you got it. It's like, I know that, right? My kids, they're young and they go, what's that? Or why is this? Or what's that, right? I got to tell them, well, that's a bird, right? That's a tree, right? And as soon as that's okay, bird, got it. Tree, got it. And then we basically kind of store it in the memory. And it's like this feeling of like, I already know it. That's kind of what happens when you give someone a map with the sequential, I know what's coming up. You get into this kind of, I know it. And for enlightenment, everything that you know has to be let go of. So all of these kind of maps, they have to be dropped. They have to be dropped. You can't hold on to it. There comes a point in the journey where you let go of everything, every little spiritual practice, everything that any teacher or master has told you. You got to let go of everything. So it becomes just something else that holds you bondage, essentially. Here's the map, but the map is never the territory. And that's kind of the mind always thinking that. It sees it on the map. I can put together some nice, colorful diagrams, make them look all flashy, really give the mind some kind of eye candy. Ooh, wow, this is the best map I've ever seen. Oh my goodness, so complex. Look at all the stages. But that's the thing. The mind wants something complex, right? It wants every little description, right? I could literally give you awakening in one step, or I could make it 50 steps if I wanted to, by just describing every little nuance step by step. And the way the mind sees is, oh wow, this is way more detailed. This one's got to be better than this one, right? Right? You awaken from a dream. Well, it's like, well, how many steps does it take? When you wake up in the morning, how many steps does it take you to wake up? Aren't you sleeping and then you just wake up? Where's the step-by-step process? Did you prepare to wake up? Here I am dreaming, and I'm preparing to wake up. I'm opening my eyes, and I'm going to do that in 3 steps. Right? It's simple. It's simple. But the mind doesn't understand simple. Like I said, this is not at the level of the intellect to be grasped. It's beyond the mind. Enlightenment is beyond the mind. But the mind is just kind of like, this is how I work. I work in a linear fashion, past, present, future, step by step. I'm going to learn my way to enlightenment. I want to know what's happening because I want to control everything. I don't want any surprises. This is the trap. Because that's the thing. It's like you kind of end up as one of these seekers who just knows it so well, knows it too well, and they can't let go of that. It becomes the conditioning. It's spiritual conditioning now. It's spiritual conditioning. I'll tell you, when enlightenment happens, it's going to be the biggest surprise of your life. You're shocked. You're speechless. It's indescribable. It's a surprise. And here you are wanting a map to know what's ahead so that you're not going to be shocked. You're not going to be surprised. So you're going to stay in that comfort zone. But enlightenment is jumping into the unknown. And as long as you want to hold on to a map to make yourself feel safe and comfortable, you're most likely not going to jump into the unknown. Which is why I don't really share this map. I don't really share the map. It's more of I like to kind of pull the rug from underneath you. It's kind of like that. It's like I can guide you with the map. I see it. I see exactly where you're at, and I'll guide you, but it's like I don't give you the map. Right? There's a difference. Right? It's which then you put trust. Trust, and you're trusting something that you can't see. Right? Trusting a map, it's like you can see it. Oh, I'm at this stage, and then I'm approaching the next stage. Yeah, I can feel it. There's also this trap of comparing your progress on the journey to someone else's progress on the journey. Having this kind of step-by-step tiered system, this 10-step process creates this feeling of progress and feels like, when will I arrive, or I'm getting closer. But enlightenment is here now. There's no distance. There's no time. So what good is this map? Right? The map to where? Right? It's a pathless path. Right? So that's kind of why, right? You start comparing your journey to someone else's journey. You start, hey, whereabouts are you in the map? Ooh, you're on level 7. Oh, I'm only on level 3. Well, how long have you been, on your spiritual journey? And they say, well, I just started 6 months ago. And here you are 10 years in. You go, oh no. See how it quickly becomes an obstacle, right? So I say it is like, well, I just, it's like I tell you what you on like a need to know basis kind of thing, instead of giving you everything and showing you everything there. Then it's almost like there's no chance. There's just no chance. It's really an obstacle when you see it like that and you think you're going to learn your way there. And you start comparing notes, comparing journeys. So, well, like, Mitch, he made me a nice, pretty diagram. It's a beautiful map, 10 steps. I see it. I wish he would have just told me on this map how long each section of the journey is actually going to take. See, that's what the mind, it just wants to know everything. It's like having that 10-step system, the progressions, what to do at each stage, what to expect. It's like a nice little note section on the side of the map. There's a nice legend. It's all color coded. And it's like, couldn't you have put like some timestamps? Couldn't you add some duration? It's like, it's never enough. It just wants more and more. And then it gets to this point where the mind simply looks at this map and it's like, I know enough. I've seen it. I've studied this map so much. It's like I know it. It's like I know exactly what enlightenment's all about. I don't need enlightenment. I know it already. That's kind of what happens. It's a huge trap, right? That's the problem. When you're just kind of into all the scriptures and you seem to know it inside out, you don't want to let go of it. And it creates this, like I told you with my kids, I know that, right? They ask, what is that? What is that? I know that. Well, no, that's not actually a bird, right? That's not actually a tree. You think that's what it is, but that's just a label. Those are just words. You don't actually know it. That's the difference between enlightenment and just giving the mind something to kind of chew on, right? It thinks it knows it, but it doesn't know it. Because the true knowing does not come from the mind. It comes from something beyond the mind. And that's what enlightenment is all about. So hopefully this helps. If you're asking, if you're maybe questioning, I'm waiting. Just give me the map. Just give me the map. It's nice that you're here to guide me, but just give me the map. I'm most likely not going to be creating these, pretty diagrams and mapping everything out step by step and kind of putting it out there. So if that's what you wanted, sorry to let you down. But if you want to really enjoy this journey to the fullest, if you want to really be on this journey and feel this kind of childlike wonder where you don't know what's next and you're so curious and you're being surprised every step of the way and you're fully attentive to this journey because you're always stepping into the unknown and you want to really embark on the journey of a lifetime, I'm here for you. And I invite you to take this journey.